All right, everybody, welcome to the show. My name is Kyle. I am late as hell. I'm a mess. I don't know if you could tell. I don't know. I probably look the same, but I didn't get the chance to put that little powdery deliciousness on my face. Usually it takes away the shine. On my forehead. But that's what happens when you're late, man. You eat a quesadilla. You f*** around and find out. Oh, God. Oh, I just cursed. This whole thing's demonetized already. I can't. These new rules are killing me, man. Holy cow. I almost cursed again. Okay. Kyle, stop cursing for no reason and demonetizing all of your YouTube videos. Okay, anyway, so reason I'm a little late today is because we were trying to switch up some of the tech stuff behind the scenes and kind of record the show in a new way using some new stuff, and ran into like a whole bunch of speed bumps and problems, and so basically at the last minute said, hey, just divert back to the old faithful way and we'll get the show out that way. So anyway, I apologize if this is coming to you late. Honestly, Peter the editor is so good, this might not even come to you late, even though I'm recording it way later than I normally do. But got a lot of stuff to talk about today. So we now have more Joe Biden classified documents found at his home. This is the third batch of classified documents. Joe, what are you doing? What are you doing, Joseph? Joseph Raisinette Biden, get it together. Then I also have AOC commenting on Matt Gaetz and the Freedom Caucus's strategy to push Kevin McCarthy in their direction. And that might be a long segment breaking that one down. And then later on in the show, we have a super duper heated debate over Hunter Biden that occurred on Meet the Press. I found that interesting. And one of the worst statues I've ever seen in my life was just unveiled. And Glenn Beck is taking a trip back to 2009 and diving into the deep end of idiotic conspiracy theories. So we'll have some fun with that as well. So, all right, without further ado, let's dive into it here. So this article here is in CNBC. They say more classified documents found at Biden's Delaware home, White House counsel says. Additional classified government documents were found at President Joe Biden's Delaware home this week, the White House confirmed Saturday. In a statement, Richard Sauber, White House special counsel, said that a total of 6 pages of documents with classification markings were discovered at Biden's Wilmington residence. The White House previously said that only 1 page was found there. The first document was identified on Wednesday by Biden's personal lawyer and turned over, and the additional 5 documents were discovered later that week. Sauber said, quote, the DOJ officials with me immediately took possession of them, he said in a statement. Sauber said the president's lawyers have acted immediately and voluntarily to provide the documents to the Department of Justice. So, I've seen a lot of things online, a lot of conservatives taking a victory lap over this, and they keep saying, well, where's the raid for Joe Biden? You guys should, raid Joe Biden too, bro. And the only problem with that theory is they don't do a raid if you're cooperating with them every step of the way. Why would they raid you if they're getting what they want from you? Now, that's not to say that Biden having classified documents is a good thing. Of course not. It's a bad thing. But I find that point particularly idiotic because it's this attempt to do a false equivalence no matter what the facts on the ground are. I've made this comparison before, but if you go into the IRS and say, hey, man, I haven't paid taxes in 5 years. Let's talk. Let's make a deal. They'll make a deal with you. It's when you don't pay and then you keep running and they know you're running and they come after you and you're dodging them. That's when they're going to throw the book at you, and that's when you'll probably get some jail time. So Biden has cooperated every single step of the way here. Of course, with Trump, it was hundreds of documents. With Biden, it was nowhere near that. But having said that, look, in the eyes of the normie, all they're going to see is Biden had classified documents, Trump had classified documents. It's roughly a wash. That's what normies are going to think, especially in the case of Joe Biden when, this unfolded the worst way it possibly could for him because it was a drip, drip, drip. It was 3 separate big stories of another batch. And so, look, he's got nobody to blame but himself. He shot himself in the foot. And then, of course, there's all the sanctimonious videos of him when all the stuff came out about Trump where he's like, sir, this is irresponsible of you. Tut, tut, tut. I cannot believe anybody would do something so immoral. And it's like, that's the problem with the Democrats, right? The Democrats, generally speaking, are Republican light. They're diet Republicans. And this is such a great example. You're going to go all in on this criticism of Trump in particular, and then it's you got classified documents in your closet and next to your Corvette. and, hiding all over the place. So they continue here. They say that was nearly 3 months after FBI agents raided the Florida residence of former President Donald Trump and seized more than 100 classified documents and hundreds of more records that federal prosecutors say belong to the U.S. government. So the bottom line on this is very simple to me. What am I actually concerned about? What do I think, should be prosecuted? Well, I like that there's a special counsel for both of them. I think that's a good thing. And what I would do is if they had what we're going to call the top secret of the top secret documents, in other words, the stuff that actually should be classified in top secret, if they have those, throw the book at them. Throw the book at them. Because, look, we all know the government classification system, the way it works, they overclassify everything, and anything that makes the government look bad, they're just like, this is classified. You can't look at this because it's like super special and secret. And if you look at it, it'll like hurt the troops and stuff, bro. So they lie about that. So I don't care about like the more lower level stuff. I care about the stuff that should actually be hidden. Nuclear related material, stuff like that. And where our spies are, things of that nature. So if Biden has that, throw the book at him. If Trump has that, and by the way, we know Trump does have that because I was in the reporting previously, throw the book at him too. So that's like the biggest thing. And then beyond that, of course, the deeper question is, well, what are you doing with these documents? Like, what are you actually doing with them? And if they can prove, in the case of Trump or Biden, that perhaps they were sharing this with people they shouldn't share it with, or they were selling the information, which is definitely in the realm of possibility, because I think Trump and Biden, to one degree or another, believe in the Nixon philosophy of governance, which is like, when the president does it, not illegal. If you could prove that, again, throw the book at both of them. So I think that's the biggest takeaway. Now, it may happen that upon doing the investigations, we find that, well, Trump does have the top secret of the top secret and Biden doesn't. Or you may find out they both have them, right? Or you could find out Trump was selling it to the Saudis or selling it to Oman, who he's currently in a business deal with as he's running for president, which is insane. They're like crafting the deal right now. Throw the book at him. In the case of Biden, the right would say, hey, what's he doing with these documents in regards to China or Ukraine? Of course, Hunter was on the board of Burisma, and that's sketchy no matter where you fall on the political spectrum. Any honest person would admit that Hunter Biden with zero experience shouldn't be raking in hundreds of thousands of dollars from an energy company in Ukraine. So find out what's going on with the documents. If they have the top secret of the top secret, prosecute them. If they're selling information or showing it to people they shouldn't, go after them. But look, now with all this information coming out here, it leads me to believe it probably is going to be a wash. Because even if they find, let's say for argument's sake, they find bad stuff Trump was doing, they're going to get gun shy, I think. I think it's more likely now that, Merrick Garland and whoever's involved, whoever's doing the investigations here, they think, well, if we don't go after both, then there's going to be an outcry and an uproar. And they're going to say, this is biased and this is political because you're going after one but not the other. Even if the facts bear out that it would make sense to do that, I think they're going to get gun shy because this is how Democrats are. It reminds me back when Obama was president, he refused to go after the Bush White House and Dick Cheney and Donald Rumsfeld and all these war criminals. And they did torture, they did illegal wars. And he said, we look forward, not backward. And so it was sort of like protecting the club, protecting everybody inside the club. And I don't like that. I don't like that. So now I want to show you exactly what's going on with other Democrats and how they're reacting to Biden. So this is in Real Clear Politics. Dem Representative Hank Johnson suggests classified documents were, quote, planted at Biden's home and office. Suspicious timing. Why are you doing this? Don't do it. Don't do it. No reason to do it. I mean, why can't anybody just hold an L anymore? Like, just take the L, dog. Just take the L. And again, is it really all that surprising when, we've seen the trajectory of the Republican Party and then the Democratic Party. So, like, the Republicans go further and further and further right, and the Democrats follow them right off that cliff. They're the dyed Republicans. They're Republican light. You got the Republicans leading the charge on the Iraq War. Then you have guys like Biden who are like, based, sign me up for that. Or whether it be NAFTA. And so now you have it with classified documents. And again, the facts of the case, just to be fair, what we know as of this moment, Trump had hundreds of documents. Biden did not have hundreds of documents. He had way fewer documents. Trump was not cooperating. In fact, quite the opposite. He was hiding this stuff. Biden was not doing that. So, I think those differences matter, but I also think at the end of the day, from the view of the political normie, they're going to look at this and go, you know what? Close enough. It's a wash. Biden's got classified documents. Trump's got classified documents. And look, the other thing is, and this is an important point to make too, look at how people who are outsiders, if they have classified documents, how they're treated. Now, in the case of, say, Edward Snowden, he was a whistleblower, and he was saying, hey, man, the government is violating your Fourth Amendment protection from unreasonable search and seizure. They're spying on everybody, and it's illegal. So he had a conscience, and he was a whistleblower, and he's got to hide in Russia because they'd prosecute him if he was here. So that's how an outsider is treated. You know, Chelsea Manning. Thankfully, at the end of Obama's time in office, he pardoned her or commuted her sentence, but like she was locked up because she gave information to Julian Assange of WikiLeaks that showed the U.S. military committing war crimes. Again, she has a conscience. She was a whistleblower. When outsiders handle classified documents, they throw the book at you, even if it's stuff that shouldn't even be classified. And that was kind of the point of what Chelsea Manning said and Edward Snowden said. Hey, this stuff shouldn't be classified. That's why I'm releasing it, because the American public has a right to know. In the case of Trump and Biden, certainly with Trump, it looks like he has stuff that should be classified and top secret, and he might be doing sketchy things with it. In the case of Biden, that's potentially the case also. When I read these articles and they're not telling me the level of classification, that leads me to believe some of these things actually were very, very high level classified. So with them, it might be the case, even with those, they don't go after them. But look, I don't want to speak too soon. Again, I think the most important point is if they have this stuff that should actually be top secret, the stuff you view in a skiff, throw the book at them. If they're selling the information or showing us people who they shouldn't be, throw the book at them. If it's not that, then I don't think this is going to materialize and go very far in both their cases. But in the case of Trump, it's also important to keep in mind, he's got 7 other investigations into various wrongdoing that he did. And so even if this one doesn't bring him down, there might be other things that bring him down. And, we'll have to wait and see. But message to Democrats, don't be political hacks. Because remember, everybody was making fun of Republicans, rightly so, when they were falling all over themselves and doing mental gymnastics in order to deflect blame from Trump when what he was doing was caught dead to rights, doing sketchy stuff with these classified documents. And now you have people saying, oh, it was planted at Biden's home. Really? Really? It was planted? Because we all know what was very likely to happen with Biden, right? Like, the guy's a zombie. The guy's half dead. He's probably took some stuff out of there and just plopped it in his closet and didn't think anything of it. And it probably didn't even occur to him when he was going after Trump and he's got a similar thing going on. Or maybe he took it and there actually was a reason for it, and he was doing stuff that we fear Trump was doing as well. Like, hey, if I have this, I have leverage, might be a way to make business deals or whatever. We don't know. We got to let the investigations play out. But again, at the end of the day, throw the book at them if this is the top secret or the top secret. Throw the book at them if they're selling this information. And it just goes to show you, man, the elites really think I can get away with anything. And you know what? They're kind of not wrong in a sense, right? The only time an elite goes down is when they rob other elites. Think of SBF from FTX. Bernie Madoff, another great example. George Santos might go down because he was in a big Ponzi scheme and he was probably stealing from other rich people. But outside of that, from the eyes of Biden and Trump, they think George W. Bush wasn't prosecuted for torture and war crimes. So if I take a couple documents, who cares? Is there really going to be any accountability for this? Probably not. Well, we'll see. If I had my druthers, they'd both be locked up. But having said that, in a world that really made sense, they'd be locked up for, their various war crimes. Biden, for example, doing the airstrike when we were pulling out of Afghanistan, claiming they killed ISIS leaders and it was civilians. Remember that? It was a festival of war crimes on that day. That's just one example. In the case of Trump, his first military raid as a president killed a young American girl. It was a raid that was so questionable, even Biden was like, you know what? Let's pull back on that. Trump increased the drone war by over 400%. Trump openly said, let's occupy Syria and take their oil. So in a world that made sense, they'd be going down 4 war crimes, but that ain't happening. So we'll see what happens on the document front, but I wouldn't hold my breath. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.